You want to obtain the privilege of the rich? Many people talk about it. Man, I wish I had that privilege. Well, guess what? I put a short video together that talks about the privilege of the rich. And without a doubt, if you watch the video, you're going to be able to know that you can obtain the privilege of the rich. Watch the video. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Frank Quiniguez, the ambassador of reading. And today's topic is called Obtain the Privilege of the Rich. And how I came up with it is that I went on different trips in the last month and a half. My wife and I, we went to Vegas, then we went to Loveland, came back, went to Utah, came back, then we went to San Diego, stayed at a resort. And on the last trip, just a few days ago, we went to Ensenada, Rosarito, and back. And every time I'm out, I'm always thinking of what my next topic is going to be to make a connection with all of you, our audience. And this is the topic. I said, you know what? This is so interesting. I'm just going to let them have it. Obtain the privilege of the rich. So I started thinking, because I do my observation. When we were staying at the resort, I was like, wow, look at those people golfing and look at their nice restaurants. And I was like, man, what are the privilege of the rich? And so here it goes. In my mastermind class, I teach it in a circle, and I tell them I only hang out with successful people. And sometimes I get that person or two that say, well, wait a minute, why do you hang out with us if we're not successful? I go, that's where you're wrong. It starts with thought. As soon as you think you're successful, therefore you are successful. Now, if you stay in thought and don't do anything about it, then you're not going to be successful. There's got to be action behind it. If there's no action, then you're not going to be rich. You're not going to be successful. So one of the things that I've noticed is that people that are well off select who they want to hang out with. I guarantee you they don't want to hang out with a loser. They don't want to hang out with people that don't have a conversation. They don't have a plan. They're just going about their every day without knowing where they're going. They're not going to hang out with them. I guarantee you. So the people that are rich and that are well off, the people that are successful, select who they want to hang out with. And guess what? You have that privilege too. Look who you're hanging out with. If it's not going anywhere, you may want to switch your friends. I know it's harsh, but if you want to be successful, if you want to be wealthy, then you got to be selective. Bottom line, I guarantee you, somebody that's very well off is not going to want to hang out with you if you don't have a plan of where you're going. So that's number one. Number two, wealthy people select what's going to go in their mind. I see wealthy people getting up in the morning, they meditate or they listen to something inspiring, something that's going to get them pumped up and ready to go. You know what the majority of the people do? They look at gossip. Who did what? Who broke into whose house? And who? It's just a lot of waste of time. The people that are well off, they don't have time for that. They're very selective as to what's going to go in their mind. Well, guess what? You can be selective as to what's going to go in your mind. I was out in Ensenada, and this is how it all got triggered. There's this one guy that a juggler. There was a juggler that could throw things up in the air, and he was juggling, and I was observing. I was just watching, and then he included the hat, and included a ball, and included an umbrella, and I'm thinking, wow, what a show. A 1-minute show. And then I observed. He took off his hat. He went out and he got a few pesos, and he came back, took that little break, green light for the other side, red light for him. He goes outside and does it again. I calculated he was making quite a very good money. I'm thinking anywhere between $150 to $250. That's a lot of money. That's good money. Now I wanted to talk to him, but he kept on going out. I almost wanted to pay him because I wanted to talk to him. But we did our conversations in between, and I asked him, wow, you're very good at what you do. That's an incredible show. I like the way you juggle and you include the hat and the ball and the umbrella and how you collect. It's just amazing. And where did you learn? And he says, well, initially one of my friends, a girl that I was hanging out with, she initially started me with juggling. And I said, and how did you get this good? And he says, I looked it up in YouTube. And I started practicing what I saw on YouTube. And right now, nowadays, there's so much information. But people deviate. They go look at stuff that's not going to benefit them. And this guy focused. He says, I'm going to get this good. He did unbelievable. I wish I would have recorded to show you. Anyway, I asked him, so what's your plan? He says, well, now on YouTube, I'm learning how to wax cars. I'm going to get a shop. I'm going to get a car wash and I'm going to wax. And I could see him. I could imagine him. I could see him in the future where he's going to have his own shop with his own workers, collecting his money, being a wealthy guy. I could see it. I go, if he's that dedicated to collecting out of the juggling, he's going to do amazing in this car wash and waxing. And he's learning through YouTube. He's being selective. Are you being selective as to what goes into your mind? That's the question. So wealthy people, they're in awareness of who they hang out with. They're in awareness as to what goes into their brain. Also, wealthy people, we make time to exercise. I exercise anywhere between 3 and 5 days out of the week. If I have a busy week, it's going to be 3 days. If it's not so busy, it's going to be 5 days, maybe even more. But we find time. Poor people usually say, I don't have time. But if you were to follow them and you watch them after work, they sit in front of the TV for 2-3 hours. That's time that they could use to go out and exercise. Or they sit in front of the phone and they're just randomly looking at stuff. They're not even thinking, but they don't have time. So wealthy people, we find time to exercise. And this next one, wealthy people find time to read. People say, oh, I don't have any time to read. I have 2 jobs. I have to do this. I have to do that. And you follow them with a camera. They're on the phone for 2 to 3 hours, plus the TV, plus gossip. Now, that's the privilege of the rich. If you wanna go in that direction, you gotta be selective as to who you hang out with, what goes into your mind. Give yourself time for exercise. Give yourself time for reading. And my favorite, eating healthy. Wealthy people eat healthy. They don't just stuff their mouth. They're very selective. Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna eat a salad and I'm gonna eat my protein. And they're very selective. Guess what? You can be very selective too, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to eat healthy. So in conclusion to this privilege of the rich that you can have, it all starts with a state of mind. If you think you can get there, you're gonna go in the direction. If you don't think you're gonna get there, everything that I've said is just a waste of time. But if you think you're gonna get there, then you're gonna go, okay, what's next? What can I do? And do a follow-up. It starts with thought. It's gotta be followed by action. So you gotta look around as to who you hang out with. And then what goes into your mind. Do you give yourself time to exercise or meditate? Do you give yourself time to read? Do you eat healthy? Do you take care of your body? My number 1 video and my number 2 video talks about being healthy. It talks about taking care of yourself. So as you can see, you can have the privilege of the rich. It's just a matter of you choosing. If you choose to go in that route, then you may want to continue. And there are so many videos, so many good people talking out there. But it's up to you, the viewer, to be selective. What am I going to watch? What am I going to do? And it starts with thought, but without action, it's not going to go anywhere. You got to have the action. You got to make it happen. And those 5 things that I talked about, easy to do. And also easy not to do. And that's what separates the people that have and don't have. If you want it, then you got to do it. If you don't want it, then don't do it and you're not going to get it. That's easy. Okay, well, till next time, your friend, the ambassador of reading, Frank Quiniguez, wishing you well today and always, knowing that you will find and get what you are looking for. Thank you for watching our channel, and congratulations for making it here, where we give information that benefits the individual that's watching and their loved ones. I invite you to subscribe and be part of our channel, set the notifications, and watch the new videos. Thank you and welcome.